Mark Skaar on the Skaar Kaard on 103.7 The Fox, and I'm really, really proud to bring in Tom Hollister, the voice of Cardinal Black. Tom, welcome.
Hey, Mark. Thanks so much for having me, mate. Cheers.
Congratulations on Midnight at the Valencia. Fantastic record.
Thank you, mate. I appreciate it.
And at the beginning of the first song, Ride Home, we hear someone say, "You see here, kid, you gotta just go for it. Don't think about what comes after or what came before. You gotta bend your knees, take a deep breath, and jump." Where's that from?
Do you know what? I'm not sure where it's from. And in an interview recently, someone referred to Peter Pan, maybe, that it's from that. If it is, I'm not 100% sure. I wish I had a better answer. I mean, the quote makes perfect sense for what we were kind of trying to, I guess, say as a band on a second record, and kind of loosening the strings a little bit and going for it. But also, Ride Home is a story about my friend who's had a long and illustrious career in the military in the UK here, but it kind of alludes to the fact that he was a bit of a naughty boy when he was about 16. The army kind of turned his life around, and I guess it hits the nail on the head for both of those in terms of the ambition of the record and us as a band, and wanting to get over to you guys in the States and explore further territories around the world, but also specifically about that song and my friend, literally bending his knees and jumping in certain cases.
On the other end of the spectrum, Tom, the last song, Your Spark, which came out prior to the record, probably my favorite thing on there. Another just really hooky, just one of those gotcha songs that I love.
Oh, thank you, mate. Yeah, I mean, we definitely closed with that one on the record for a reason. It's a kind of a nod to the big kind of bluesy track that's on January Came Close, a track called Tied Up in Blue, and they were both the last tracks. For that reason, it's the one that allows Chris on guitar to let go a little bit further, and lyrically, it's probably a thank you to, definitely to my wife, probably a thank you to all of the boys, his partners, and to kind of give us the freedom to do this and not to have to go and get a real job. It's one that's close to our heart.
Need More Time is another one with some great harp in there.
Well, listen, you are now free to come to any gig you want, and I'll send you some merchandise directly, because that's me playing the harp, and I am terrible at it. So I think I just about scratched through it. There's a very quick story I'll tell you. We started playing with a bass player recently, and we did a series of installs in the UK to support the sale of the second record. And Sam's jumped on the bass, having not really ever played the bass before. He's a really great guitarist. He's a hell of a drummer. He's a great keys player. He can turn his hand to most things. He's never really played the bass. Turns out he's good at that as well. And we're halfway through the shows, and I'm playing the harp on Need More Time every night. And Chris jokingly says, "Sam, I bet you can play the harmonica as well." He said, "Oh yeah, I used to be a harmonica teacher." And he's incredible at the harmonica. And you've got me there fumbling around trying to find out which way around it goes, So, but I appreciate it either way.
Tell me about your current single, Breathe.
Probably up there for one of my favorite ones on the record. It's dark and it's broody and moody and all of those things, and I like that. It's one of those stories that's actually kind of made up, but I guess is representative of stories everybody's ever heard, and it's kind of about two illicit lovers that are in relationships that they're not really kind of happening at the moment, and probably not the nicest relationships, and they find solace in each other, and it's about that moment in time. It's about taking one breath and encapsulates all that happens romantically, I guess, within that one breath. But I like it kind of moves away from the format that we tend to write, kind of verse, chorus in. There's double back on the middle eight there. There's cool solo in it. It's pretty atmospheric and dark, and I like it, yeah. So hopefully it's gone down all right. The video seems to have gone down all right, which took place in Port Talbot Steelworks, one of the biggest steelworks in the UK that's going through a bit of a tough time at the moment. So it's pretty, and it's in our South Wales home, pretty kind of humbling to go down and record it there as well. So it's a bit of a special moment.
Talking with Tom Hollister from Cardinal Black, I have to admit, Tom, I was such a huge fan of January Came Close, so high expectations, and was, as you are, probably you guys were too. How are we going to top this?
It's always a strange one for us, because January Came Close, we kind of say it's like the greatest hits of songs that nobody's ever heard. For us, it was most of those songs, or at least half, were probably over 10 years in the making, and came from the early trio days of us playing way back when. And we felt like we just kind of needed to get that off our chest, and we thought the best way to do that is to envelope it all up as an album and put it out to the world and kind of almost move on. And so as a result, it feels strange to us. It feels like almost this is the first record that we made as a band. And yeah, it's kind of probably a little less kind of out-and-out blues guitar focused, I think, probably the second record. And a bit more kind of Americana, American songbook writing, and it's dressed up, fine in different instrumentation. But it's definitely a record that appeals to me a lot more as a listener, which is always good, because half the time I don't like anything I do, so that's quite nice.
Let's, for the uninitiated, tell our listeners about Chris Buck and Adam Roberts.
Well, I'll start with Chris. Chris and Adam actually both long-term friends and best mates really, and you could throw a blanket over us where we live, and we grew up at the same place, and Adam's from the rival school up the road and Chris went to my school, and they've been in each other's lives since, Chris would have been 14, 15 years of age. I'm about 4 years older than Chris, and we played in various covers bands and together in original music, and then this obviously was the only way this was ever going to go, really, was to do it properly in an original band. But during the time that, I guess during mainly COVID, but started before that, Chris kind of struck up a bit of a career in becoming a bit of a YouTube guitar legend. And so I guess if you're familiar with the guitar, you're probably familiar with Chris. He presents himself beautifully, and I can tell you that does not stack up to the truth. He's an absolute nightmare. I'm joking, of course. He's a lovely guy, and he's a phenomenal talent. And the best thing about Chris is that he doesn't really know that, and long may that last. And we all forget that to the right of us on stage is genuinely a bit of a guitar legend in the making, I think. So, he's a good boy, Chris. And then Adam, he's one of my closest mates in the world, and he just so happens to be the drummer in the band as well. He's a great drummer, and has probably been... It was my father, actually. We were talking through it the other day, and he was like, I just think Adam's the glue in the band. It's both on stage and off, really. We kind of run the band as a business between the three of us, and everybody has kind of equal import doing that running of the business, and Adam definitely has been, that glue, that cement that's kind of run through it the whole way. He's a great drummer.
Tom, we kind of alluded to it, but who's going to be playing bass for you?
So it's a guy called Sam Andrews, who he owns the studio, Snake Mountain. It's a little studio up the road from where we live in the South Wales Valley, that we recorded January Came Close there. And so we kind of started knowing Sam from that period. And like I said earlier, kind of multi-instrumentalist, and we hate him for that. But we said, look, we're a bit like lost last minute. We've got a big tour, US is coming up. We're back in the UK after that, then we're in Europe. There really wasn't any time to think it through too much. We needed someone to jump on four strings and have a go. And he said, I'll have a little go at it. Literally went and bought a bass, and then overnight became a really decent bass player. So, and he's a good lad, and he's great to have on tour. So we're really happy that he can commit to pretty much everything in 2025 at least. So long may that last.
Talking with Tom Hollister, are there going to be auxiliary players on keyboards and backing vocals like last time?
Yes, although the backing vocals won't be a separate person. Okay. Like Sam can sing well, as can Michael. Michael Blanchfield is a guy that we've used on keys. It was my brother, actually, Greg, for probably about the first 100 shows from the conception of the band, really. But he's also got a very important and great job and a family of his own, and it kind of got to the point where it was only ever going to go one way, really, with commitment levels. And Michael's probably played with us about 50 times as well, and filled in, and definitely played kind of second seat to Greg over the years. And then, as the obvious happened, my brother's job, Michael stepped up and now is the go-to guy for us. And phenomenal keys player, and can sing really well as well. So it's definitely, we pride ourselves on harmonies and a lot of vocal parts and stuff, but I think it's just going to be the type five of us for a little while, for the American tour at least.
Last year you came to the U.S. to do 3 shows. First one was at Playing with Fire Festival in Omaha, and I was supposed to attend, but I was just coming off gallbladder surgery, and I know it was blazing hot that day.
It was a great day. I mean, they held it outside. Jeff and Vanessa, the guys that run Playing with Fire over in Omaha, beautiful people, and they actually kind of, they're the reason that we're coming back to the States, and the reason that we were there last year. They helped pay for visa costs, which are pretty massive, to be honest, and some expenses to get us over in order for us to play this small festival. And like you said, it was a hot one. It was ridiculous. I mean, for boys from Wales, the temperature doesn't get very high here at all, and it was, in old money at least, probably about 36, 37 degrees by the time we went on in the evening. So I don't know what that is in American Fahrenheit, sorry, but let's just say it's a high number. But yeah, and they were great. Off the back of that, we decided to try and book 2 small shows of our own. We never kind of knew that there was going to be for us to go over, and we ended up playing a show in Nashville and a show in LA, and they both sold out. It was really great.
And I assume expectations are much higher this time since half your shows are already sold out.
Yeah, I think we've got about 3 or 4 left on the run that aren't sold out and are close to, which is amazing, right? I mean, we went over, like I say, last time, we booked a place in Nashville in the basement, the original basement, and after, kind of long story short, they gave us the kind of 150 cap room, and it sold out in a few hours. So we bumped to the 600 cap room, and we sold that out as well, which is great. And Nashville was an experience in itself. And then we went over to LA. We were in the Troubadour in LA and couldn't get in to start with because who the hell are we? And kindly / kind of dropped them an email on our behalf and asked if we could get a slot, and we got one, and we sold that out as well. So it was amazing, mate. And to go back now and to do that again, and for it not to be flash in the pan is really special, to be honest, especially for a UK band coming over to the US, because it doesn't happen too often, I guess.
I have to ask, Tom Jones, fan?
Oh, yeah, massive fan. Yeah. I mean, it's sacrilege to say no. I'll say that, coming from where we do. But, yeah, he's from kind of relatively up the road from us, really, in the Rhondda. Yeah, that's where my mother was born. But, he, an absolute legend. And singer to singer as well. Just what a phenomenal voice. I went to see Tom Jones. He started doing a circuit around kind of race courses in the UK. And he was the in-the-night entertainment and was just phenomenal. Like, the guy is getting on a little bit now. And still, at the time, I was listening to the tracks on Spotify at the same time to see whether or not he was dropping keys.
Oh, sure.
Exactly the same key.
Wow.
Just blasting it out. Just unbelievable, honestly. Yeah. What a legend he is.
Tonight, as we're airing this, I'm airing an interview with Tom Hollister from Cardinal Black. Next week, I'm going to play an entire hour of nothing but your music.
Oh, well, I can apologize in advance to everybody if you'd like me to do that, Mark. Yeah, well, thank you very much anyway. Well, that's very special. Yeah, I'll try my best to listen in there, because I don't know whether I've actually heard the album since it's been out, to be honest. It's one of those things that you'd expect us to get tired of it, but it was kind of recorded about 18 months ago, and
sure,
the world moves on for us, and until it comes and hits you around the head on release week, you kind of have to put it to one side and move on a bit.
Midnight at the Valencia, 30 Tigers, the second album from Cardinal Black. I guess technically it's the third album, so we'll roll that way. Thursday, August 14th, 7th Street entry in Minneapolis, sold out. That's a 2-hour drive from us. And then Saturday, August 16th, playing with Fire Festival in Omaha with Bywater Call. That is a free show, and that is about a 5-hour drive. So if you want to go see Cardinal Black, and I highly suggest you do, Omaha would be the place to be. Tom, I want to thank you for your time. Love your voice, love your band, and looking forward to seeing the show in due time.
Thank you, Mark. So kind of you to ask me to come on, mate. Thank you so much.
Tom Hollister from Cardinal Black on the Skaar Kaard, the new classic rock that rocks on 103.7 The Fox.